Hoping that you get some light and love from this transmission today. So what we are talking about is consciousness, human consciousness, and the potential of our mind, body, spirit complexes to manifest reality around ourselves. The first thing that I would say about this message is that the most important thing that you will ever use in your life is your consciousness. It is literally creating the world around you every single day, whether it's conscious or unconscious. And the consciousness that you use is completely up to you. You can be totally conscious in the decisions that you make, or you can be unconscious, or even, of course, as most of us do, also our subconscious has a huge effect on the decisions that we make. The most important thing that I want to relate is that we are co-creators, and we are constantly co-creating the world around us. And we can do this through fear, which is a lot of the paradigm that is going on at the moment. I see people just going, the world is going terribly, so much is going wrong, this is terrible, it's terrible, and they're feeding into that fear, and they're going down, a fear spiral, I would call it. And my advice to you, if you are feeling like this yourself, is to just switch off the news, get it out of your brain, because it's only putting rubbish in there. Not to say that what's going on for other people is unimportant, and not to say that these things aren't terrible, but it's not helping you produce a positive outcome for us for the future. And really what we're trying to do is to create an ideal future. We're trying to create a beautiful future. We're trying to create a happy future. And if you think of the brain as a computer, constantly putting negative stuff in there is only going to produce negative results. So we really need to be very careful about what we put into our brain computer. There's that old computer saying, guy go in, guy go out. If you put rubbish in, you're only going to get rubbish out. So it's very, very important at this time in heightened consciousness to put really, really, really only the top-notch stuff into your human brain, your consciousness. So that means fantastically uplifting and inspiring stories. That means being immersed in nature. Oh, wrong hand. There she is. Surrounding yourself with trees, positive people as much as you can. And when you're around people who are negative or sad or going through a tough time, help and uplift them, because the power of our consciousness is very, very important. And we've been told by Mary in the Marian apparitions, which are still occurring in Medjugorje in Europe, that 20 or more people joined together in prayer can change the weather of the area around them. That's my puppy dog. 20 or more is not very many people to change the weather. So that's 20 people who, if you plan to do something like this, the most important thing that you do before you go about, you don't just sort of sit in a room together praying for weather, all 20 of you. You have to unite first in consciousness, so bringing us back to that word consciousness. So first of all, you have to sit in a meditative state. You can be led by one of the group, but you have to spend some time conjoining your energy, so you're unified as one unit. Conjoining your energy, just think of it as energy. You're just little battery packs. Conjoin that energy so it's functioning as one, and then you can start to call in the weather that your area requires. And we call in the weather by giving thanks for that weather that we want. So we say thank you for the rain. Thank you for the beautiful clouds that are coming over our mountains. Thank you for the pitter-patter on our roof. Thank you for that beautiful smell of the rain hitting the soil. Thank you for all of the raindrops greeting our trees and plants and flowers, and bird life and animal life. Giving thanks, being in that mindset of already having received and giving thanks for it, is how we operate this fantastic matrix world that we live in, which is a beautiful, beautiful world. The other thing to remember about the power of our consciousness is that we can garden with it. So we can actually use it as a tool to co-create gardens, and rather than toiling in a garden and making a huge amount of effort, as many farmers do in industrial farming. Like, you see the effort that goes into producing food. It's a huge amount of effort. And certainly if you've grown your own food, you'll have respect for the amount of effort that goes into just growing one tomato or one eggplant. You know, it is a lot of effort. But using your consciousness can really relieve a lot of that effort. So if you use your consciousness to send love to the plants and send love to the flowers, and everyone will know some old grandma, grandpa, or witchy woman or witchy man who talks to their plants and flowers like they're friends. And that is indeed exactly what they are. And I encourage you to talk to your plants and flowers and tell them that you love them, and call them names and communicate with them, because they are living and they're alive. They're as alive as a puppy dog, and they can hear you and they respond to your energy, as Cleve Baxter has taught us in his amazing book. Now I can't remember the name of it. That's terrible. I'll come back to you. Now, the other important thing about our consciousness is we are creating future outcomes with it. So it pays no heed. There's nothing good about going down a fear spiral and being negative and seeing everything in a bad light. It's just not helping anyone, and it's particularly not you, because you're the one that's living here. So the most important thing to do with your consciousness is to start creating an ideal future. Now, you can do this when you say a prayer at night. You can do this when you've got a little minute at the traffic lights. You can do it when you're waiting for your coffee in the coffee shop. There's 1,000 times a day that you can spend just picturing an ideal future. Now, this ideal future could be full of trees. It could be people just enjoying life, running around with children, happiness, joy, love, swimming in the ocean. Just like picture the most beautiful ideal future that you possibly could. Mine personally does not include a lot of technology. It's just using the beautiful natural technology that we've been given, which is human consciousness, nature, and all around us. Now, the other thing to remember about consciousness is one of the things that we've learnt about consciousness is that it's so powerful. It can actually power technological machines. So extraterrestrials have certainly brought through the knowledge that higher level technology is actually controlled by our consciousness, by our mind. We don't even need cords or anything like that. Certainly not Wi-Fi, which is terrible. Eliminate it, get it out of your life. So it's important to remember that training our consciousness is actually a beneficial thing for us, for our future, for an ideal future as well, because the consciousness is so powerful. It can actually begin to co-create at higher levels in this matrix that we live in, and create the world around us, physically create things, which is incredible, you know. And that's something that Jesus told us, but also something that we've seen with the incredible work of people like Sai Baba as well, you know. He's co-creating, manifesting, a lot of people would like to call it, but he's working within the laws that we've been given in this density to literally make things appear. And he's able to do that by, first of all, using the male and female energy in the room that he was practicing in, but also using his consciousness. He was able to direct his energy to create such things. So it's important to remember, a song I sing to my kids is, if you conceive it and believe it, then you can, you know, to the tune of If You're Happy and You Know It. If you conceive it and believe it, then you can. If you conceive it and believe it, then you can. If you conceive it and believe it, then you really can achieve it. If you conceive it and believe it, then you can. It's just an important thing to remember. If you really, this isn't about hope, it isn't about blind faith, it's about literally knowing that you can do it. So, for example, if you in the morning, if you're going to make yourself a bit of toast, you know that you can make the toast. There's not even any question in your mind. You go in, you make the toast, it's made. And that is how we'll need to respond to all situations in our future. We'll have to know that we can do something with utter joy in our hearts. Love and joy. Yes, of course we can do that. It's no trouble, it's no problem, it will be done. That's the kind of state of consciousness we have to be in. And just remember as well, just as the wonderful comedian Bill Hicks said, it's just a ride. Life is meant to be joyful. It's meant to be enjoyed. And it's just like that little song, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is but a dream. This is a beautiful, beautiful dream we're in. And it can become anything that we want. And even in the face of adversity, for we are here to learn lessons, our response to it must always be with kindness and compassion and joy. And I leave you with these words. Have a lovely, lovely day, and I'll see you the next time.